All right, moving on. Now we are at a stage where the drawings are here. I've underlaid the PDFs, and so I really just kind of have to go through the process of formatting it. What I want to do is feature my floor plan above and then have my elevations associated orthographically to it. For this particular exercise, what I'm going to do, the way I'm going to set it up, is to align my floor plan and my south elevation along the center of the sheet. So that's really as simple as just kind of grabbing all this and aligning it. So middle of the window is kind of all you need. Oh wait, hang on there. My guides, I need to lock the guides. There we go. Go like that. And just align it to somewhere like the middle of the center window, and that should be good. Now, the other part I want to do is just make sure that I can align my floor plan to it properly. So when I move this out of the way, I'll put it down here. Those are actually going to swap, but then I can just grab my floor plan over here and move it up to match. None of that. I get enough of that from everyone else. Anyway, so what we're going to do here now is just kind of establish the ground plane. Okay, so I mentioned orthographic projection. What you need to know about orthographic projection is that it doesn't always have to be in a straight line. I don't know how many of you knew that, but it doesn't. We can actually turn orthographic projection quite frequently. So what I'm going to do here is align my two views. Let me set this aside here. I'm going to align my two views to be aligned to the the south elevation. So these are on the wrong side right now, so I'll pull this one over here and grab this one and move it over here. But I'm just going to lay them slightly above the ground plane for now, because I'm going to set a ground plane and then align them to it. And the simple version is just a really thick black line, right? So if you're doing a simple drawing, a thick black line is really all you need. So I'll go and make a new layer, and I'll call this one ground plane. And on that layer, just start a line, make it black, give it a really, really thick line type, like 10 or something like that. And I'm actually going to start it from the building. So let me just kind of zoom in and align it to the building itself. So it should actually be aligned to the top of the slab. I didn't really talk much about that before. There's room for error here. I'm not going to nitpick that. But basically, if you just hold shift and draw your line across, it becomes a thick line. Actually, I'm going to align this to the bottom of the slab for this exercise. And then you can just kind of pull it across to the end of your sheet on either side. Or approximately the end of your sheet. So at this stage, we can zoom in on each of our views. And align them accordingly. All right, and then after that, it's really just kind of a matter of showing the connection essentially to the drawing itself. I want to be sure that they're about the same distance apart from one another. So I'll probably just kind of pull this one off, say, let's see, we'll do 6 inches. and then I'll go 6 inches out this way too. So from midpoint to, let's see, that's 2, 4, 6 here. And then we can kind of shift it in. And it doesn't have to be exact, guys. Like Illustrator is not necessarily a super exact program for this kind of work. Hold on. I didn't grab it all, I don't think. Oh, I messed it up. I didn't grab everything. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So we'll go back here, back there. 6 inches up here. To make this easier on myself, I could either lock the ground plane or deselect it like that. Yeah, this one I'll pull. Oh, sorry, I resized something as well incorrectly. Look at that. So I didn't have a guide at the end of my building, so I need to go 6 inches from the end of my building, which is going to be 1, 2, 4, 6. There we go. That's what I need. All right. And then the actual projection part really just comes into play with the same kind of stuff we've been doing, essentially. We take a dashed line, and we'll just draw it. We'll draw a dashed line from the body of the building, and then we'll just align it to the plan itself. So I'll get a black line. We'll leave it pretty thin, maybe make it a 2 for now, and then set it to be dashed. And it just comes into play here by, whoops, just go up to here, and then take the anchor point over to here. Go from there. I don't know why I can't see this. There we go. You can use your aligns like this, and then go from the anchor point down. I should be able to see that while I'm drawing it. Okay. So that's essentially the very basic version of setting up your alignments and everything for this particular view. The last thing we've got to do is just set everything to be something that is visible and clear and that reads well. So for me, I'm going to first organize my layers between hidden and object lines, and then I'm just going to assign a blanket line type for everything. So hidden lines I'll put behind object lines. Whoa. I think I did something I didn't want to do there. There we go. So move your visible and object lines up to the forefront. All right. So hidden lines, then I'm going to change to a thin black 1-point line with a dash, but I'll make the dash smaller than my large dash, so I'll make it a 6-point. Oh no, that's okay. And then object lines, are going to start off with a base line weight of 3, black. Hide the guides. That's probably too thick. Yeah, looks cartoonish. Well, it is a small. Let's do that. These 2. Yeah, I'll leave those at a 2, and I'll take my hidden lines and make those a 0.5. Okay, so there are a couple other things that we can do to kind of enhance this a little bit, but essentially the bare essence of the comparative analysis drawing is here. And this is, right now, very simple. This is, you know, the first step to making it graphically pleasing, I guess you could say. Okay, what questions do you have?